Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and hang out with you. I want to thank everybody for joining me here. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave, the leg of the scythe emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can throw those back at me. If you're not a subscriber, you can just say hi or hey. Or again, not again, but you don't have to say anything if you don't want to. Solf is here. Hi, Solf. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, hi. Yeah, folks, never feel like you have to chat. You have to, like we got folks like Aristophan, who's pretty chill. Sometimes I don't even know Aristophan's been here for the whole stream, and it just pops in. It's like, oh, hell yeah. And we got some folks that have lots to say and really want to talk. We got folks that there are a couple of you, and I know this to be true. You're not here right now. Hello, the WebNet. I'll wave back. There are a couple people out there, and I know who you are. I see you out there. You come in for the anime talk because you like the model kits, but really, you don't know a lot of streamers that watch current running anime. So you come in for the anime talk. And that is, I will say this. Oh, Jam just subscribed with Twitch Prime for 31 months. Thank you so much, Jam. I'm going to hit the applause here. Lashbrook is here. Hi, Lashbrook. Welcome, welcome. The batteries are dying on my mouse, my wireless mouse, so it has become very touch sensitive, which is annoying. So when I want to do things with my mouse, that's frustrating. But I got Touch Portal. But that's what I say. Jam, thank you so much for your continued support. 31 months. That's so many months. The thing I wanted to say is I started talking about the anime that I was watching as a way to always have some guaranteed conversation. There was always something I knew I could talk about during a stream. And it would always be current because it'd always be the stuff that I had watched since the last episode. And I know that some of y'all, that's not what you're here for. You know the second hour, hey, Mr. Bob, welcome, welcome. You know that in the second hour I talk about anime and you're like, okay, and maybe I'll talk about something interesting and you're like, oh, that's weird. But for the most part, you are begrudging. But there's a few of you out there, and they're not even here yet. You come for the anime talk because I am someone who is running a live stream and talking about stuff that you are interested in. And I'm really excited for that little pocket within our community of people. I'm always excited for folks that never really got into model kit building and that I've been able to inspire to give it a go. I'm excited for folks that, like just are looking for a nice little chat, a nice little community, a person that they can write in the chat room who will reply because there's not so many, chat doesn't fly by really fast, so I'm able to keep up with what's going on. And there are folks out there that really crave that and look for that, which is awesome. And I'm really happy about that. And then there are folks that are like, they know me from Giant Bomb stuff, from PAC stuff, from New York comedy stuff, and they're just cool supporters. And I appreciate that so much. We got a bunch of people here watching right now, and that's rad. And I want to thank you all for being here. If you're a subscriber, thank you so much. If you're not, that's okay. If you want to, if you do me a solid, you don't have to become a subscriber. Click that follow button. Click the follow button, turn your notifications on, so you know when I go live. That's a huge thing for me, because even to this day, a lot of people that come to this come because of, like, they notice that I mentioned on Twitch that I'm live and they click on that, and they don't come from notifications through Twitch. And that would be great. Twitter, they see Twitter notifications. I'm wearing a shirt that I won. I won. This is me winning on TKO. And the shirt says, I'll raise it up here, I'm so over this, and it's a ghost. It's just a ghost that is over it. And I didn't draw it, I didn't come up with that tagline. I combined them together and take full credit for it. But it crushed at TKO with Loading Ready Run. And I'm thrilled to wear this shirt because it's a great shirt. I don't think that shirt feels like a strong commentary in 2020. Yeah, right? It was just like a no-brainer, like easy to vote for shirt. Because I only took a big mood, right? Yeah. I only took so many shirts with me since, for folks that don't know, I'm currently living just outside Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, with my folks for a little while because I lived in New York and was barely getting by in New York, and then all my jobs went away, and they should have gone away. So now I don't have those jobs, so I'm here hanging out, doing my thing, which I've only been here since Sunday, so it hasn't even been a week yet. But I took like 3 weeks worth of clothes because I didn't want to take too much stuff. So I don't even know if I have my other shirt, which is Shadow the Hedgehog, and it says Dorcas on it, which is great. Anyway, it's time to go to build. It's time to build. So let's go to the main feed. I have brightened up this room as much as I can. Lighting here is not perfect, so I have messed with my exposure on this webcam as best I can. So there's still plenty of shadows because of where the lamps are, so I do apologize for that. But I feel pretty good about this setup. Eagle-eyed viewers that really can see what's up, may notice that behind me on the wall are boxes of model kits. It's this model kit and another one that I got to build in the future. This is the Justice Gundam from Gundam Seed. And yeah, I needed something in the back walls. I took down the art that was up there and replaced it with something that felt a little more right for my liking, but it felt like a nice little easy decoration to put up there. Yeah, all right. Let's get to building here. We got some stuff to build. If you got any questions in the chat, you don't need to use the channel points to ask a question, but more than welcome to use those cave points. We got really far on Monday. Like, this is Monday. We got the whole body built, the arms, the shoulders, the head. Like, we did a lot on Monday. So we're working on the waist right now. Oftentimes, you jump from the body to the arms to the legs, and you do the waist last. I like that we're doing the waist next. I think that's cool. I got a little snap happy here and got a bunch of stuff done because I just wanted to get some work done ahead of time because it loosens up my fingers, get my fingers going. Feels good. How are we doing here in chat? How's everybody feeling? That's a loaded question. I know it's a loaded question to be like, how's it going? And it's okay if it's going bad. It's also okay if it's going okay or pretty good or not too bad. Like that's also fine. If there is joy, take that joy and run with that joy is my general feeling on the current state of affairs. That if you can, Def Beat says, it's okay, Pat. Well, good. I think okay is fine. I've been saying okay more than good lately or great because it's all a mess. And like some days, okay is all we got, right? Let's see. What's going on with me? The big thing is getting used to being here. My computer arrived on Monday. I got my setup done for that. I've had time to tweak it. I did a game stream on Tuesday. I wish more people had come and hung out on Tuesday. It's okay that they didn't, but I wish a few more people had been able to come out Tuesday night because Dungeons and Lesbians is a fantastic game, and it was fun to play it on stream. But it's okay that it wasn't as big as I would have liked. So that happened, and I think that was all right. And then, let's see. Yesterday, I competed in the Gauntlet in the losers bracket. Is part of Games Done Quick. They have a bunch. Games Done Quick, if you don't know, they don't just have 2 times a year big marathons of speedrunning. They do events throughout the year on their Twitch streams. And a lot of them are like intro to this or competitions or behind the scenes or blind runs and stuff like that. They do all kinds of different stuff. And one thing they started doing this year is the Gauntlet. And the Gauntlet is a blind race. You are given, oh no, I didn't know there was a game stream that day. Oh yeah, I did it on Tuesday. Solve. That's okay. I don't normally do a game stream on Tuesday, but I did because yesterday I completed the gauntlet. So normally my game streams on Wednesdays. But Solve on my YouTube, the archive is up there. I'll have to keep better watch for the next one. I appreciate that. Yeah, I missed out too. That's okay. Tuesday was really light. You talk about new anime, but I saw a meme uh, uh, about Serial Explains Lane, and I'm kind of thinking about buying it on Blu-ray to see how it holds up. Lastbrook, I think Lane is just I don't want to. Experimental is in the name. It's just like interesting enough that it probably holds up. It may feel a little of its time, but I do think it would hold up in a modern context. Lord Crashington to subscribe. That's a full year. 12 months. That's a whole year. I'm going to hit applause. Keep up the great work, and best of luck in SC. Thank you, Lord Crashington. Thank you for your continued support. It does mean so much to me that folks are able to support me. Either using their Twitch Prime coin or cash money. Appreciate that so much. Thank you, Lord Crashington, for renewing and continuing to support. Yeah, I think Lane could work. Anyway, so the Gauntlet, it's a competitive thing. You get a bunch of games. You have to compete tasks in those games. And if you do, you get points. And then I was in the loser's bracket because of the first round, I got 0 points. And then in the second round of the loser's bracket, which I did last night, I got 0 points. And I think with 5 more minutes, I would have gotten 1 point and still lost to someone that got 3 points. But I was not there to do well in games because I'm not a gamer. It's fairly early internet, and I'm wondering how its ideas have played out. Yeah, because I think Lane, it was cool. I know Lane was like, had style, and had it was like trying to do something. I remember like really appreciating Serial Experiments Lane. But I don't know. It may feel corny's not the right word, but it might feel like quaint in our modern context. I don't know. But I'm always a fan of going back to old stuff. Going back to your old faves. The trick is, Lashbrook, is you have to do this thing. You go back to something that you loved. And you go back and you can hopefully contextualize it, and this is a modern setting, and this is how I feel about this now and as an adult and looking back. If you don't like it, if you end up not liking Serial Experiments Lane now, you got to keep that to yourself, because there are people that know you that have fond memories of it. If you love it again, if you come back to it and you're like, this is real good. This turns out this thing is great. Then you can share that, and that's fine. But if you don't like it, you gotta keep it a secret, because there are people out there that that discovery will bum them out. They need to make that discovery on their own throwback. That is what I've found. When I watch old anime stuff that like anyone has any reverence for, I don't talk about it on the streams, because y'all don't need to know my thoughts on an old show if it's a hidden gem. Like, when we hitting the random button on Crunchyroll and I came across that like very strange Alice in Wonderland anime, like nobody that I know has any reverence for that. I think it was totally reasonable for me to be like, hey, this is weird, and to talk about that. I felt okay talking about that. All right, so G3. Let's go in there. But yeah, if I'm like gonna go and do a deep dive on a classic, I know to keep that shit to myself, because I don't want to ruin anybody's nostalgia. Because real life ruins nostalgia all the time. I don't need to be part of that club. People ruin things. Like, what are your thoughts on Gundam Seed? It was the first Gundam I really enjoyed. Context, I was like 13 when it came out, and it hits a little different now. So the webnet, here's the thing. I liked it. I was kind of out of anime when Gundam Seed was coming out. I came into Gundam for context, and some folks that have been around here, the streams for a bit, know this. I came in with Gundam Wing, and then I went back and started watching some of the classics, and I also watched some of the not classics like Gundam X and G Gundam, and so I was ready for a new Gundam show, and I liked it. I didn't love it, and I think that even See Destiny is I actually maybe prefer it a little bit more, which some people disagree with. I will say that the only really like modern Gundam series, the next modern Gundam series that ever got close to me loving it as much as Wing, is Iron Blooded Orphans. Iron Blooded Orphans really got me more than any other Gundam show really since Wing. Um, I've come to appreciate some other stuff. Uh, I don't. I've never gone back to Turn A. I didn't finish Turn A. I didn't like Turn A. I know some people are like, oh, it's the hidden gem of the Gundams, but to me, it was just like, no, I'm good. I'm good on it. Love IRBO. Yes. I liked Seed at the time. I think you mean Seed, yeah. But I watched older Gundam stuff after and kind of saw how much Seed was borrowing story elements. Oh yeah, last work. Gundam Seed is not attempt to do something radically different like Wing. Wing was an attempt to modern. Wing was an attempt to like really modernize and take it in a different direction and really see what could be done. Whereas in a many ways, um, uh, Seed was an attempt to do old stories with modern technology. I just love the models. I don't think I've seen a single Gundam series to 100% aside from Unicorn and Build Fighters. I just love the models. Hey, just love the models. If you love the models, love the models. Like, yeah, sure. Um, like we build kits. I've still never seen F91. I've the movie. I've never seen it. But I've built 2 model kits from that show and enjoyed both of them. I think the F91 was a fun build. I think the Vignagina RE100 is an incredibly fun build and incredibly cool kit. I love that little guy, F91. Yeah, it's a fun little kit. It's such a... They were like streamlined the size of Gundams so that it's cheaper for us to make them. Which is like, okay. But I think, yeah, the F91 I think is fun. But I think the Vignagita 1 is such a beautifully weird. It's painted like Megatron. It's Megatron colors. I love it. How could I not love it? But I do think, it is my opinion, that like, yeah, it's like, you don't have to. If you didn't want to watch that show, you didn't watch that show. And I'm not like mad about it. Never going to be mad about that stuff. Um, uh, like I said, the mid to late 90s Gundam is kind of my sweet spot. Those are off century, so I know some people. You just warned about the dangers of commenting on older shows, and now you go and break my heart with the Turn A comments. See, there you go, Chihuahua Pugs. Also, hi, Chihuahua Pugs. Yeah, I never finished Turn A. I probably should. It's we built the Mustache Man, the White Doll, and it was a weird build. But that's 2006 model kits in general, or were weird kits. So I don't blame the show for that weirdo build. But yeah, I mean, like that's the thing, right? Yeah, I'm now critical of a show that has some sort of sentimental value to you, but I'm not saying like don't enjoy it. I'm just saying that like yeah, it didn't hit me and I didn't finish it. I watched a lot of it. I just never did. Um, I'm still hoping for a modern mech show to really hit me, to really get me. Uh, that'd be fun. Listeners could have been it. Listeners is not it. Because it's just boring. Just really boring. Just a really boring anime. The closest is the cool vehicle suits that combine together in SSS Gridman. I think Gridman is the closest modern thing. Uh, yes, the webnet. So like there are rough parts of Iron Blooded Orphans, but the rough parts of Iron Blooded Orphans are in the service of the fact that everything is rough and sad. And it's not just like, it's not there to just be torturous. So when things happen to characters that you're like, again, but it does feel in the service of the larger piece. My enjoyment of Gundam show is directly proportional to how easy it is to watch. Therefore, my favorite is Seed, which Gundam Official always keeps up on YouTube. Well, there you go. If it's convenient for you to watch it, heck yeah, enjoy. Uh, Anime is flushed with isekai and not enough mechs these days. Yeah. Like we actually got a mech isekai, Knights and Dragons, or sorry, Knights and Magic. Knights and Dragons. Knights and Magic is or was an isekai with mech, but it's magic-based mech instead of technology-based mech, and it's not particularly great. But Knights and Magic is like fine. It is a fine anime. Uh, if you can deal with isekai. Um, but I do. But you gotta look it up. Yeah, so it's it's Knight apostrophe S and Magic, which is terrible. It's a terrible written. Uh, it's a guy that was like he was an otaku that like worked at a company but built model kits and loved robots and mecha, and then he gets reborn in a body in a time of magic, and he has ability to use magic, and he just wants to build cool robots because the knights are like armored, magical powered mech. Uh, and he definitely shouldn't be doing the cool shit he can do, but he understands how magic works because he has a programmer's brain. So he understands the math of magic, which is, as far as like isekai goes, pretty good. But then the show was like not particularly great in any other aspect, and like uh, yeah, it's not great, but it's like good. But yeah, Knights and Magic. Um, yeah, listeners didn't really do it for me. SSS Gridman certainly did. SSSS Gridman. Uh, like, I mean, that's an Ultraman show more than it's a Mecha show, more than it's even a Power Ranger show. But there is some good service there of quality robotic stuff. And I don't know if Decadence, a show we will talk about in about a half an hour, is going to have mechs. It's got technology and it's got monsters and stuff, but I don't know if there are going to be any mechs in it. I haven't heard any about mechs yet. I would love it if there are, but as of right now, have not heard word of mecha in it. What we got going on here? Crazy Like Fox just subscribed. Finally made that year. 12 months. Thank you so much. That's a tier 2 sub. Crazy Like Fox right now. Thank you so much. Let's hit the applause. Crazy Like Fox, thank you so much for your continued support. It means a lot to me. Let's throw the emotes in the chat and say thank you for that. Oh, yeah, and Deerhoof got Deerhoof. Def Beats. I don't know why I said Deerhoof. Def Beats got an emote because Pride started late this month and is continuing on into July. So there's still some cooler rewards going on for people, which is fun. So wait. Where's this go? These go. Did I miss a step? I might have missed a step somewhere, but I don't see. Hold on, y'all. These go here. We know that. Then there's supposed to be a slot here that these pop into, but I don't see that slot. So did I? I did. I missed a step, y'all. I missed a step. Okay, we gotta pull back here. This has got to pull back. I missed a step right here, which where these would click in. So I was like, this doesn't make sense, and it didn't make sense because it wasn't right. So there we go. Now we know. Uh, Deer Hoof was my wrestling name in high school. Nice. Yeah. So y'all, we missed a step. So that happens. The nice thing is that it wasn't too long, and also we didn't even need tools to separate the piece to get in there. But this happens. I get too excited talking about old anime. We'll probably talk about other stuff, but there's something I did want to get. I want to put out there, y'all. Uh, uh, in an effort to transparency, right? Um, a relative sent me some like, hey, you moved, you're dealing with a lot. I'm sure whatever things are tough. Here's your belated birthday gift, and it was money, which is great. We all like that, and it means a lot. It was really nice, but it was a check, not a check. Sorry, it wasn't a check. If it was a check, I would have just used my phone, used the app. It takes a little while to go through, but it works, and you just use that. It was not that. It was cash, which sending cash in the mail, that I'm telling you right now the age of this person probably. But they sent me cash, and it's a lovely gesture. But I am blessed right now and cursed with my life. But one of the blessings is like I'm not really spending money I'm not handing people cash and getting it back that often. It would be better serve me to have it in my checking account so that I can pay for things online and pay bills and things like that when they come up. Right? Makes sense. Easy enough. So I'm like, well, let's find my bank's ATM. There is my bank. There is probably pretty close here. I got a ride from my mom. We went to the post office. She had to mail something to the post office. Hey, guess what? Stop at my post office. First Stop since Sunday I was able to check into, which was rad. And then we go to the bank. And we just want to go to the ATM. I want to deposit at the ATM. Got my card, whatever. I get there. There's a Brinks truck. The Brinks truck is getting money out or changing money or doing whatever. So we're sitting there and we're waiting and we're waiting and we're doing that thing. And there's no ATM inside. There's an ATM outside, and the inside's all shut down anyway. There's just driver service. But we don't have, I don't have for this bank, whatever, I don't have a deposit slips because I can't just deposit the cash. It would be easier if I could do that, but I can't do that. So we're waiting, and then go up, and finally, guy finishes up, leaves. There's another person waiting. I go first. I go up to the machine. Well, the machine has to reboot because somebody took money out of it, and it's unavailable and lists a bunch of other ATMs, and we're like, fuck, shit. So we, in a last-ditch effort, before we just give up for the day, we drive through to the drive-through because there's a drive-through with a teller and there's an outdoor drive-through with a teller, and then on the end is an ATM, a drive-through ATM. So we just pull up a little in front of it, and then I get out and go behind the car and use the machine there, and I deposit the money that I need to deposit, and then I get to back to the house, and waiting for me in the mail is a check, which I could have deposited then, but luckily I'm able to deposit that on my phone, and it just takes longer. But I'm not super needed. But it was just this thing where I'm like, all I want to do is deposit money in my account and not talk to people, and I did both. I didn't have to talk to anyone, and we're fine. Because I have not spoken. Since Sunday, I have spoken on the phone once with a friend, and I have talked to our waiter as we ate on Sunday coming back, and I have otherwise had not spoken to anyone outside of my parents. And the fact that I've spoken to two people is a lot of people for me. It's a change. Um, the other big change in South Carolina for me living right now is so it's a thing that I'm not sure I've had to visit a branch since I opened my account. Yeah, I mean like normally, like for folks that don't know, up until Sunday, I lived in New York uh, since the year 2001 until 2020. I lived in New York, loved it. It was my place, but I had to leave for a while. I will be back. Um, but there's just ATMs for my bank all over the place, so I never had to like go into a bank if I had to like deposit cash or get cash or whatever. And also just go to any ATM if you need cash and just pay it. And it sucks, but whatever. You do your best. You do what you got to do. But it was a weird experience, like having to like go to an actual branch and wait, and then like remember, like, do I have deposits at home so we can like do this to another day and all this stuff. It was weird. So as I said, living in New York, right? So New York, I didn't have a backyard. I didn't have a front yard. I had a stoop, a couple steps, and then you're on the sidewalk, right? And you go out there, and there are other people on the streets, and there's people, running by you, jogging without a mask, and there's people waiting for the subway, and or waiting for the bus, and there's people at the light, and it's just people. You get out there, and there are people. We finish this, we're going to start working on legs. We can do a lot of this stuff at the same time, which is cool. So we'll start doing that. So you're just people, right? There's just people. Well, that's a different vibe here now in the suburbs where I'm at. People leave their houses and they're in their lawn and they're not near anybody. They're just in their lawn. And the houses are close, but nobody's not breathing down each other's necks, really. So people like do yard work without a mask. They get in their car. They didn't wear a mask to walk down their driveway to get in their car. They just, put on they have the mask with them in case they want to go in somewhere or do whatever. Uh, People walk for exercise. They don't wear a mask. You just socially distance. If you see somebody walking the same way, you make sure that, like, oh, I'll go down this way. I'll avoid them, whatever. It is very weird for me. Today was the first day that I walked around without a mask. And I went for a walk. Did I run into anybody? No. The closest I got was there was somebody on the other side of the street walking the other way. And there are cars, and it's whatever. Now, this is a hot spot for COVID because it is south and people are not taking things seriously. But it is a thing where it seems to be anyway. Predominantly when folks are, a rural area, folks are more likely to not wear masks unless that they're going into a place or whatever, going to run into strangers. But since you don't, like, yeah, mostly out of habit wore a mask the first several days here, walking around on my walks because I got to get a little exercise. Now it's also hot as shit. It is often 80 something degrees, feels like 90 something degrees with a lot of humidity. So walking for exercise in the afternoon is tough. I would in New York I would walk at night because it would be cooler, and then also there would be less people on the streets. But there aren't a lot of like that's not gonna fly here doing that. I can't really go on night walks around here because there's not sidewalks, so you're in the road and it's a whole thing. So I'm not doing that. But it's I'll say, folks, it's weird. It is very strange and very weird. I'm not used to it. Having my computer here makes it feel less like vacation, but it still feels like vacation. Like I like sent some emails and did some like trying to get some stuff ready. I'm trying to get some panel stuff together for a couple virtual conventions that I would like to do some panels for, which are going to be fun and I'm excited about. But uh, a lot of that was mental energy that I haven't expressed in a while. Like I haven't outside of streaming, I haven't felt creative at all. The last month or so, I just kind of felt pretty listless and pretty lifeless. So it's been nice to force some creative energy out of me. Like put together a pitch for a panel was good. It felt good to do. Um, if any of these panels get accepted, I'll let you know. They are for one is for a convention you're very familiar with. One is for a convention that I have never done anything for because I've never been able to go to it. But since I don't have to go to it, if you know what I mean, if you get what I'm saying, I can just, sorry, I got to line this piece up right here. Since I don't have to worry about it, I can just submit a cool panel to a convention. I'd love to see a Gundam anime panel at PAX. Just saying. Yeah, the web. That could be something fun. I don't know. I I I will say that my PAX panels. I'll say this: I am not submitting improvised postmortem to PAX online. Uh, I do not think that panel will work well pre-recorded, and I don't think that panel will work well over Discord or Skype or Google Hangout. I think the part of the fun of it is going up to the podium and me picking people, and I think the over talk and people being polite and not wanting to jump in the video format, I think is just it's not going to work. So I'm not going to be submitting improvised postmortem, which is a shame because I love that panel and I love working on it and doing it. But I just think that it is logistically not the right format for it. And I don't want to do a bad improvised postmortem. So I have something for PAX. I have one thing for PAX so far, and I might have something else. And then I have pitched a panel to another convention that I don't necessarily want to say because I don't know if it's going to get approved or not. It's basically the panel I was going to do at FlameCon this year because I was pretty close to securing a panel at FlameCon before that got postponed. Nothing was set in stone, but I was close. It looked like it was going to happen. So I had a panel for FlameCon that I would like to do with this other convention that would be very appropriate for it. But, oh, what happened here? Oh no! Oh no! We back? Nope. So we're back. I'm gonna go and retweet that we're back. I'm sorry, everybody, about that. So there's a thing. It hasn't happened yet. I'll explain in a second. Back after being disconnected. Um, so the internet went out and now it's back. the internet went out. How did the internet go out? Well, because it was raining tonight. And sometimes when it rains super hard, the cable package stops working, which includes the internet because it's all connected on the cable. Why that happens, I don't know. I'm no scientist. Is that terrible? Especially for folks that, my mom has a cell phone. I'm grateful she has a cell phone, but not everybody has a cell phone. So, folks that have like their phone connected, and it doesn't work when the cable goes out because there's a storm, might think that sounds terrible. And you know what? You're right. It's bad. It's just bad. J24. What happened to the other one of these? But we're back, and I apologize. I apologize for going away from you for a little bit, internet. But I am back to doing the build, and hopefully folks will all come back. We probably lost a few people here, and that's okay because we're just going to do our best with it. I'm just a simple old-fashioned internet cable scientist, right? Yeah. Like, I don't know. I don't know why that is the way it is. It just is. It's weird. It's pretty weird. All right, so we got this here. But yeah, J34. That's what it is. It's J34 is 34. Is this one great? Hey, I don't remember what I was talking about. Does anybody? Oh, panel stuff. I think I was talking about pitching panels and how. Evening. Hello and welcome. We had a restart. We had to refresh the stream, unfortunately, because I got disconnected a little while ago, which is a bummer. But I'm back and everything's working, and yeah. So sometimes the internet just stops working, and then hopefully it won't happen too often. Also, generally, it's raining here later at night, so that's actually, if the internet's going to go out, having it go out in the late evening is probably way better than now while I'm trying to stream. Of course, we've only done one full stream from 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Time once. This is only the second stream we've done, a full model kit building stream. So, like, things could go weird at any time. I hope they don't, because I want to keep doing this, because I love it. I don't want to cancel a stream because it might rain. But yeah, hopefully, that is the end of that, and we won't deal with that again. But yeah, about panel stuff, I have a couple panels that I'm working on for PAX and for one other convention. And I think they'll both be good. Alex's Fire Pro stream sure ended a weird place. Lord Crash said, I have not kept up on that. I'll admit. I will say this. I don't think this is a harsh criticism. I think it's a pretty fair criticism. Some of the Giant Bomb staff, in my opinion, really benefit from having another person around. Not necessarily in the room, but on call or whatever. Obviously, in the room it's impossible right now. But some folks they're very used to quick looks, and they're not used to solo streaming. Not everybody, but I think some of them are very much like benefit from having more folks in the room with them. So some of their solo stuff I haven't really been watching. Because they're streaming all day, and there's other things going on. So I do try to catch some stuff when I can. Particularly stuff that is like feels like it's made for me. I do try to catch those things. But especially because I dedicate often. Sorry. Excuse me. Sorry. I dedicate often. Like Tuesdays is like, okay, I'm gonna make sure that I have time, and I'm gonna watch the Bombcast recording, and I'm gonna watch the I watch Bombcast recording, and then I'll watch a what do you call it? The after show, and that's a lot of hours. So sometimes it's hard to commit to a lot of that stuff. When you beat it, you unlock a Q&A video with Suda51 where he talks about his start working on those early games. He revealed that the end of the campaign he wrote for Fire Pro Special was influenced by Kurt Cobain's suicide. Yeah, Suda has said in a lot of interviews that his early days working in games, he was often suicidal. So I can understand that influencing him. He was in for some games that he worked on. I don't know, especially for Special, but I know that era of his life, he was in a rough spot. Uh, I can say it was a pleasure to meet Suda. He is, we only spoke via translator. Harold is now hosting the stream. Thank you so much, Harold. Appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, his English is, he has it, but he's definitely more comfortable working with a translator. He had a translator with him, so we chatted mostly through the translation. I didn't speak to him too long, but Suda seems lovely, and it was just really cool to meet him. He also got a bunch of hate and death threats over the ending and kind of said the abuse was worth it, which is a weird thing to say. Yeah, Lord Grashington, that is a weird thing to say. To be like, people hate this ending. I did it. Is a weird thing to, yeah, that is a weird thing to say. It sound, like obviously I don't know for sure, but it does sound a bit like he treats it like a badge of honor, which is a way to go. It is a way to go, certainly. Um, but yeah, I'll have to. That might be an archived thing I watch. I don't know. There's so much content out there, and then I was gonna try to watch a little bit of Ian stream on Loading Ready Run tonight, but that unfortunately didn't work out because things were delayed because of the previous streamer running long, and so that got delayed, and so I didn't end up watching any of that before the stream. But I'll have to check that out because Ian is working on a flight stick, a HOTAS set, and I like weird tinkering. I love watching that stuff. Love all that stuff. Yeah. Uh, some things are worth doing despite the ire they pull. Yeah, that's totally true, Juliana. I would agree with that. He was happy opinions changed over time, but was glad he took the creative chance on that over the good bad ending based on whether you win the match or not. Oh, yes, Def Beats. The Loading Ready Run network, Twitch streamers and YouTube video creators, they have a bunch of different shows on their network because they're a bunch of people. They're collective. And Ian Horner has a show called Tinker, Tailor, Solder, Fry, and it is the Let's Try, and so it's a build things, and he does some electronics work. He will mod consoles. He does some cooking stuff. He's built some Gunpla. He worked on the 7-Eleven special RX-78, which I'm very jealous of because it's just a beautiful looking kit that you got at 7-Eleven colors. But he's right now working on upgrading and modifying an old joystick configuration that he had worked on previously, but he's got a timeline. Yeah, Tinker Tailor is a great show within it. I would say the thing that I will say the most about Loading Ready Run, who I am friends with many of the people there, and consider them friends, certainly, and also I've worked with them a little bit, is that they're a great variety stream. Kathleen has been playing through some Japanese-ass RPGs, and There's a lot of Magic the Gathering content, which is not necessarily my bag. I had my time with Magic. My time with Magic the Gathering is over, but they love it so much that it's like I'm happy for them that they get to play Magic and they do stuff in online, and then when it was available, played in person with actual physical cards when that was a thing you could just do. They do a bunch of stuff. They're a real variety. The chillest stream in the world is Kathleen's Island Tours. It's a Sunday afternoon stream that is Animal Crossing stream, and they have guests on, and they go check out people's islands, and you just get to see what really creative people have been doing, and you're like, ooh, I'm going to steal that. And it's just like real chill. And then Ian has his thing. Ian plays rhythm games. There's a spooky, scary series, and a bunch of different stuff. And then they do some bonus stuff. They played a game last night that I forget the name of, but it's basically people who really love Mario Party made their own Mario Party, and it kicks ass. Like the mini games they made a Mario Party with good mini games. I cannot remember the name of it. I believe it's in early access. But it ruled. I'm going to actually try to look up the name of it. It was pretty incredible. I can't see what it was. Sorry, I don't know. But it was really cool. If I can figure out the name of it, I'll let you know. Pummel Party, Christian says. Yes. Pummel Party. Pummel Party seems rad as heck. Okay, new follower. What's on here? Okay, great. There we go. Yeah, that's it. Pummel Party. Yeah, Pummel Party just seems neat as heck. Apparently, also it goes up to 8 players, and they kept saying like, we're gonna have to do this with 8 people, and I think that is going to be a wonderful nightmare. So I'm excited to see what they do with that. But yeah, it was cool. They do a lot of cool stuff, and they're also like just all real nice people. They're just like really supportive, chill, cool people. Like they're all, they've been around the block. They're learning from their mistakes. They realize some of their associations in the past have been like poor, and they're actively working to like work on that and fix that and be aware of that. And it's just like, I don't know, all the people there are real nice, and I've been thrilled to be able to do some stuff with them. And hopefully we'll be able to do something with them in the future. LR rules. Yeah, Harold knows. I would definitely like to do more with them in the future. Certainly, if I have a panel coming up at a convention, one of them is going to be on, at least a couple of them, because there's some anime fans in there. Also, Beej, Beej, Brendan, often does some anime roundups, and I always try to be in the chat for the anime roundup to give my opinion or a counterpoint to what he's saying. Because sometimes I'm like, no, that's not, or I'm like, oh, I watched that. It's fine. Which was my review of Sachabato President. It's time for battle. It just clicked. I've seen their MTG content collabs with Command Zone on YouTube. Oh, there you go. Yeah, they have a weekly show. I believe like they had a bunch of episodes filmed called Friday Nights, and which is like a scripted show about them being Magic the Gathering players, which is very fun. They've had a bunch of cool content, and they're just, yeah, like I said, nice people, in a variety of interests and styles. And they do a live variety show once a month on a Saturday, and you'll know it's happening because Harold is not in our chat, which I understand and I'm not mad about. I am only pointing out because I always know, like, oh, that's the Saturday. Mostly, but currently on hiatus. Yeah, a lot of their stuff is on hiatus while they figure out what to do. They just started doing a video. They do a video series they've been doing um, that is checkpoints, which is about like funny takes on current events, gaming events, and like gaming news. And they just started doing that in their offices, socially distant. And I hope everyone's safe, and I hope it goes well. I guess I was just like, I'm sure it was a hassle to do that from your house and not have Beach be involved, but some of these things I'm like, And I get that Canada's situation is different from the U.S.'s situation, and for a variety of reasons, but it still makes me nervous seeing people together. There was a video the other day. Oh, it was on hiatus. Okay. I didn't know it was on hiatus even before that, Harold, because that's how much I pay attention. Um, but in general, a lot of their stuff like has been on hiatus due to, just trying to take care of one another. Um, let's see. What do I want to say? I wanted to say something and I can't remember. Um, we will take a pause for the cause, even though we did have an unfortunate actual pause when the recording went out. We will take a separate pause for the cause in a moment or two, and I'll talk about ways you can support the channel, because that's the thing that you can do. And it is my ad break where I talk about ways you can support the stream. So if that's something you want to do, but you are under no obligation to do so. I miss crap shots, but I love the craploads. Yeah, Harold, the craploads are just fun to kind of pop in and see what's going on with them, and remind yourself of some of your favorites and some you missed along the way. It's a fun packaging, and I like that they're like, well, we thought about doing this before, and now we're like, well, we definitely should do it since we're going to run out of our quick joke sketches, because filming sketches is not a reasonable thing to do right now, which is true. It's accurate. All right, let me finish up these feet. Gotta get these feet fixed, and then when the feet are done, then we'll take our pause for the cause. It's not spooky. I don't know. Sometimes I say it's spooky, and it's not. It's not a spooky thing. Nothing spooky about pausing for a cause. Doing an ad break. Nothing spooky about that at all. All right, so put it on there. And our feet are done. Okay, first and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber, let's throw the Baer Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in the chat. Let the people know. Folks use Cash Money to subscribe, which is rad. You can also, if you wanted to, you could also subscribe using Twitch Prime. You link your Amazon Prime with your Twitch. Def Beats. So, on my YouTube, you will find a bunch of video content that I make. I do weekly series called Baering the List. Last year, I did a weekly comedy series. The archives are still up on my YouTube, called Background and Characters, where I improvised a character based on a background image and used my green screen. My panels are all up there. Archives of most of all of my panels. I have taken down a couple panels that have not aged well, or perhaps the people involved I would like to disassociate myself from. I fucked up. That's there. But as far as like my improv stuff, like from New York, that kind of stuff, like I don't have a lot of that up on YouTube, but I have a few things. But my YouTube is full of lots of weird things that you can check out. It's youtube.com/PatBaer. But yeah, thanks everybody for being a subscriber. You can use Twitch. You can use to subscribe. Also, I'll let you know, and for folks that are wondering, this will be quick, and then we'll get back to building. I also have a Patreon. If you don't want to subscribe on Twitch, and you're like, no problem. If you're like, hey, what about $1? What about $3 a month, Pat? Well, you can join my Patreon. Patreon's a great way to support what I do here. It would mean a lot to me if you would join that. Or if you're a dollar tier, maybe bump it up. No pressure, but it's nice. It helps. Everything helps there. Uh, uh, Lane is streaming on Funimation. That's easier. Well, there you go. What you want to do is Lashbrook, and I'm gonna share this secret. This is an internet website secret, y'all. It's not a secret in that anyone could find it, but it is a secret because I feel like people don't know about it, and that is because.moe. This only really works if you're in the U.S. It does, or you can set your country. Because.mo. You can set what country you're in: United States, Canada, Australia, or the United Kingdom. So it doesn't work for everyone. But for those, you can search to find out if a show that you want to watch is streaming and where it's streaming. That's I'm going to put that in the show note. That's going in the show notes. But that's my Pat Baer tip of the day. If you're ever sitting there thinking like, when I was thinking about like World's Strongest Disciple or Mightiest Disciple, I was like, I wonder if I can watch that anywhere. Because.mo. Oh, it's only available in dub on Amazon Prime. All right, fine. But yeah, that is a great way to find stuff. Back to me promoting myself. I have a Patreon. You can join my Patreon. If you would think, hey, one time I'll give you like a couple bucks. You can buy a model kit. You could buy some equipment. Hey, here's a couple dollars. I'll give you some monies. Anything that I make from Patreon, from Twitch, through any donations that come in during the stream, all goes to me buying kits and equipment. I've got some kits. I'm good for a little while on kits. I'm going to need some equipment just because I'm in a different spot. I want to change the lighting up in here. Also, I gotta get something for this chair. This is not comfortable to sit in, and it would also raise me up a little bit, which I think would be good, but won't raise me up too much. But yeah, I gotta get a more comfortable. I gotta get a cushion for my butt. And that cushion is on my Amazon wish list. That's right, folks. Once again, none of this is requested. All of this is extra. But if you want to buy something from my Amazon wish list, you buy a model kit, it jumps the queue. I buy it ahead of time. We've got Lego sets. We got a pre-order for a Pokemon set. We've got some high grades. We've got some master grades. Some stuff. Sometimes it has Amazon Prime shipping. Sometimes it doesn't. Don't get it if it doesn't. And then at the very bottom of my Amazon wish list, the very bottom, you scroll down, I've got a couple pieces of equipment. Better snipper clips, because these are fine, but these were like $15 and are going to break at some point. A clip-on light, a reading light that I could clip onto my monitor stand and shine a light above, down on what I'm building, so we can get rid of some shadows. And did put a seat cushion for an office chair, comfortable desk chair, memory foam, orthopedic pad, because this chair is not good on my butt. It's just not good on my butt, y'all. So yeah, you buy something like that, it comes to my place here. If you're like, hey, Pat, and we're going to get back to building soon. Don't worry, folks. I know some folks are like, hey, what happened to the building? I'm just doing my ads. Just pause for the cause. USA Gundam Store. You can buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store if you don't want to go through Amazon. I'll probably use it to pre-order something. But then you're supporting a local business. They're in Florida, so it shouldn't take too long for them to get me stuff up here. You get a gift card in an email. You get a code. Then you can whisper me here on Twitch or DM me on Twitter, because my DMs are open, and we'll take it from there. That is a way to support what I do, if you're so inclined. I have a Discord. Please join my Discord. It's nice. It's chill. People post photos of things they're working on. I post photos after every stream of what I've been up to. And yeah, you can join that. And then let me share with you a couple links. I put up a new Pat Baer's Anime Club on Monday. It's a preview, literally one of the shows that I preview, I'm going to talk about in a couple of minutes, that turned out to be pretty okay. So we'll talk about that. Pat Baer's Anime Club, talk about a couple shows that I think are going to be great, a couple of shows that I think are going to be probably not great, but I'm going to watch it. Tomorrow I'm going to be watching Uzumaki-chan wants to hang out, and I bet that's not going to be a great anime, but I think that's going to be an okay anime, perfectly all right, okay anime. And then Baering the List. Baering the List is an ongoing series. I did snack foods. Uh, Apparently, I don't know the Little Debbie products that well because there were Little Debbie things that I'm like, I don't know what that is. I couldn't tell by the photo, but people have corrected me. There's a lot. The most comments I've gotten on a list video in a while are all there. People have strong opinions on my opinions on things, and that's fine because it was fun to do. So I'm gonna drink a little water, and then we're gonna talk about some anime. So give me a second. Let me get some water going here. We're talking about some anime. Get back to building. Water. That's good. All right. So we'll go to there. We'll go uh, here. Yeah. All right. We're back where we need to be. Working on our legs here. So we got a nice little mix of shows to talk about. We've got a returning show that was an ongoing series that had taken a hiatus that is back this week. We've got a brand new show that just debuted literally yesterday. And then we've got an OAD, which used to be called OAVs, original video animations, the bonus videos. Now they're packaged in manga, and they're often called OADs because they're digital downloads. Like sometimes they're a physical disc, but nowadays they're like a download code to go watch this video because you bought this manga collection, the graphic novel collection of this manga. So please go to this website, redeem this code, and watch it. But the nice thing is, not every show, but some shows end up getting properly subtitled and released to an international audience so we can still watch them, which was not always the case and is often still not the case. You got a show like New Game. New Game has 2 seasons. They're both on Crunchyroll. The OVA is not available on Crunchyroll. They did not license the OVA, so you can't watch it that way. Okay, so I'm watching Japan Sinks, and the anime is dark as fuck. Japan Sinks, yeah, I have not watched that, Christian, but I imagine that is a dark series or show or movie. Yeah, I can imagine that being very dark. Okay, so Black Clover is back, y'all. Black Clover is back. One of my guilty pleasures. It is a lovely nonsense anime. One of the things that was kind of interesting is they only got 1 episode into this arc, or 2 episodes in this arc before the hiatus, because we are currently in a we're currently dealing with filler. It is Black Clover's first filler arc. They caught up to the manga. They got to do, or got close to it. They got to do a filler arc. And it's a great idea because there was a time skip in the manga. So that it was just them powering up, and then it skipped ahead. So instead of seeing that skip, we are going to get, they're fighting a spider. Yes. So instead of that time skip, we're just going to see some creative liberties of how they power it up. And with the hindsight of knowing what, some of their new abilities are, they can kind of fill in the blanks. So they're in a dungeon. They enter this dungeon to fight this spider. There's a lot of pairs of people going off. We see the vice captain of the Crimson Lions. The Crimson Lions are like, they're almost all either fire users or support users, but the vice captain uses like light magic, which is pretty rare. You're like, oh, that's weird, but he turns out to be pretty cool. But this episode is pretty focused on Leo. Leo is the younger brother of one of the 2 leaders of his crew, and he decided that Asta is his rival, which he's royalty, so like that was a big deal. And then Asta was like, I have a rival. He's my childhood friend. He's that guy. And Leo's like, all right, that's fine. You're still my rival. And he's like a good dude, and he's a good fire magic guy that like stepping up, and he he's kind of figuring out some abilities. We kind of leave there wondering like, okay, what's up? And there's more them in the water hanging out and kind of chatting with each other, and it is what it is. Charmy was there, but didn't really do a lot, which is kind of a bummer because Charmy rules. Um, Charmy's the best. It was like it's filler. It's good filler. We're setting up for even more stuff. We're gonna find out more about what's going on with these characters. Um, and there's a very show has the best brother rivalry. Yeah, yes. Found brotherhood, found family, uh, great rivalries. The beautiful thing is that like is like so the character is like he was blessed with magic. He has a incredible magic abilities. He's been blessed his whole life. He was abandoned as a child at this orphanage, and that is literally the worst. Is terrible. But he's like, man of blessed, and he's gonna make history, and he's gonna be a big deal, and it's gonna be cool. Um, but and he like he's hard on his you know he's not an asshole, and he even like at one point like he mentions like my image, like he's trying to be aloof and cool because he thinks that will be his deal, but he's aware that he's trying to be aloof and cool, and when someone just is like not having it, he's like, oh, but this isn't my style. But he loves Asta, and it's great to have that kind of rivalry where like it's not a hated thing. They're not gonna. It's not Sasuke Naruto where while they do have a build a begrudging respect for one another, they are going to fight and clash constantly. It is not that. At the end of the day, they are there to support one another, and they know they can't hit the next level without the other. And it is an awesome rivalry. It is not, it's not Naruto Sasuke, it's not Bakugo and Deku. It is what if Ida was the other strongest person in the show? What if like the student council president was the stronger? Or what if the focus was on Tokiyama being like the number two strongest person? Like that's kind of like the respect there. Instead of it being, Deku dealing with Bakugo being just a nightmare boy. Um, so that was good. It was a fine little filler episode. I'm happy to have that show back. I like that show a lot. Um, there was one other thing going on, Christian. They had mimics. They had these like, sometimes when you're playing an RPG and you come across a chest and it's not a chest, oof. Like Nightmare Boy's putting it lightly, right? They had these like chests walking around with legs, and it was real weird. Like a chest mimic, yeah. There are chest mimics in this episode, and then Charmy's like, "Can we eat it?" And it was like, "No, get out of here, no." Uh, it was pretty cool. Um, it was weird, but it was like a weird little, just a little thing happening in the show that I was pretty happy with overall. It's a lovely little show. Charmy is the best. You're dang right. If you're, look, there's a lot of Black Clover, and I'm not saying it's the best shonen, but it is a real good shonen. Um, it's a good time, and I think you should check it out. She wrecks fools. She does. She wrecks fools, and she also supports fools and friends. Charmy is the best because she has attack abilities. Her magic can be attack magic, but it also can be support magic because she can just make clouds out of wool because she does sheep magic, and so she can like catch people, and like make sure that they're like fine and help like you know ferry out people that are injured. And then also she can cook food that replenishes your mana, which doesn't make sense. And they say that like literally the show is like this shouldn't exist. Yeah, Boruto is weird. Boruto is a weird show because Boruto uh, seems like a show dedicated to reminding you that Naruto was cool, that like Naruto the character was cool, and it's like, yeah, I like Naruto. It's all right. And they're just like, yeah, but you know Naruto. It's pretty great, right? You're like, yeah, I agree with you. It's like, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, well, we'll do this, we'll do that, and we're gonna have these characters, and like, it's pretty fun to see this character growing up, right? Wonder what they think about Naruto. And it's like, all right, dude, okay. Hey, we're gonna go back in the past. Oh, cool. Yeah, we're gonna see Jiraiya again. Oh, Jiraiya, hell yeah, yeah. And it's gonna also be about how like Boruto learns about his dad's origin and how what his dad was like when he was his age. So like, Boruto can like respect Naruto a little bit more and like remind him that like Naruto's pretty cool. Okay, all right, anime. Okay, okay. Also, it's pretty hard to escalate when Naruto and Sasuke can literally destroy moons and shit. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like they tell hey, look, I like the smaller stories about the trading cards, but also Boruto has a special destiny and an eye that hasn't existed in a millennia because of the moon people. Because his mom is a descendant of the moon people. Oh boy, there's a whole lot of shit going on with that eye. But he got one. He got a special cool eye. Um, all right. Well, got a bunch of. Oh, hey. Thank you to the person that um donated to my coffee. I appreciate that very much. Uh, that rules. Thank you so much. That's very nice. Appreciate that. Uh, apparently it gets weirder. I haven't read them all. Yeah, Naruto really went places. Yeah, it did. Yeah, I haven't been reading the Boruto uh, uh, manga. All right, so I want to talk about Decadence. Decadence is new, y'all. This show could be incredible, but I don't know if it's gonna be or not. It did a lot of fucking world building, and that's cool, but it might have done too much. So we got a girl. Okay, well, let's pull back. Uh, a bunch of monsters showed up and fucked up the world, and a lot of people died, and it got bad. Everything went bad. Everything went bad because these monsters showed up and they fucked up everything. So that obviously sucks, right? It just sucks, and nothing's great about that, clearly. Well, the people there's a race of warriors that can fight them, and they do well to fight them. So they were fighting them, and then the people that couldn't fight them because they're not part of that warrior race were like, well, we'll support you by building this big old city that is the last city on Earth. So we'll help you by building this city. Where does this go? Doesn't. Which one does this go into? Does it go into this one or that one? So we'll help you by building this big old city called Decadence. That is a moving city. It's on wheels and it's moving around. It's not staying in any one place. And when these monsters show up, we'll help. You'll go and kill them, and you'll get their blood, and their blood powers the city. So it is a cycle. So there are people that go out and fight, and then there are soldiers that go and help, and the soldiers explore, and they don't get to do a lot of the fighting because they're not built for that. Literally, the people that fight are like different, like they're like purple and green. They look different, and I bet we'll learn why at some point. Uh, uh, they did not build it on rock and roll. They built it on the power of technology, like aliens or something. I don't know. Weird shit. So young lady, she lost her arm in an attack. So she has like a metal arm, and she wanted to become a soldier. But guess what? She doesn't get to be one. Instead, she's working on the hull. She's cleaning the hulls of the ship and working under a crew. And then some stuff happens, and then like her boss is definitely not what he appears. There's some work that he's doing some shady stuff that may not be cool at all. We're not sure if that's cool or all. Probably not. It looks like he's doing some stuff that isn't cool, but also he like kicks ass. Uh, and I don't know. So she wants to be on the front lines, but it turns out that she's going to be a support class person, and we're seeing the world through her eyes. And Decadence. The monsters look incredible. The CG blends seamlessly with what's going on. I think it looks really cool. I can't say for sure it's going to be awesome, but this first episode was good. Um, and I am looking forward to watching the next week's episode. That's Decadence. I'm watching that on Funimation, so you can check that out there. Uh, DECA-DENCE. It is a bad, weird name, but whatever. There's some cool shit at the end. There's some real cool shit that happens. Uh, I also like that when weird and cool shit happens, our main character is just like, whoa! And so I like that she's not over it, which is just fun. And her character design is cool. There's a lot of cool shit going on there. Uh, so yeah, let's see. Okay, the last show that I want to talk about this week, because hey, here's the thing: new anime is coming out, but not a lot of new anime. A lot of new anime got pushed back, and stuff that got delayed is re-airing their first episodes. So like normally at this time, before we lost the show, I would have talked about uh, um, Diary of Our Days at Breakwater, which is a cool little slice of life. Well, that went on hiatus, and it's back, but they're re-airing the first couple episodes, so no, we won't get a new episode that hasn't aired before. They're re-airing Japan, so like, just we're not watching them. So that'll be back at the end of July. So we're in this weird period now in the beginning of July where some new stuff is coming out, but not a lot of new stuff. And then some things are returning, but they're not just picking up where they left off. They're basically restarting the seasons in Japan. I hope that there's been no word about Gal and Dino. I have no idea. That show aired like 7 or 8 episodes. I have no idea if that's coming back. I hope it does because I think it's pretty incredible. But I also totally understand if it doesn't come back because it's very weird. Because it is just such a weird show. So I don't know if that'll be back, but I hope it is. I think it's great. And okay, so on Crunchyroll, we got the 4th installment of the OADs for what do you call it? Oh, sorry. I'm looking up. I'm trying to do too many things at once. We got the 4 OADs for or the 4th of the OADs of 5 that came out for That Time I Got Reincarnated as Slime. And we are now officially at 50% good for that. The 3rd and 4th one are telling a story. It is from a period of the show that we didn't see. Some stuff where he is like still a teacher and he's still working with kids. It's after he's given them their spirits so that they can live a more fulfilled life. And he's training them, and it's before they graduate, and he goes back to Rimuru, the capital of his alliance forest. So it has been this is like a fun tale. It's a cool little thing. This one's kind of focusing on these characters, which I don't think in the grand scheme of thing are ever going to be super important. They might become more important, but right now they're just like fun characters that we got to meet that all like have similar stories. They were all summoned here from different time periods of Earth. So some of them are like modern and some of them are kind of like older. And that has been kind of cool to like see that. And then, yeah, we get to see them go on an adventure and do their thing. It ends on a cliffhanger. The 5th one isn't coming out until November. They're spread out along because they're to help promote the manga collections. So that's kind of a bummer. And for reference, the first episode, uh, the second episode came out first because the first one was delayed. I don't remember why. The second one is them going to a lake. It's basically a beach episode. There's people in bathing suits uh, and there's like some kind of monster and it's like a picnic and it's fluff and doesn't matter. The first one, which got released second, is actively bad, and I have told people that are like, "Hey, I'm watching that time I got reincarnated as a slime, and we're almost done." And I've been like, "Great! If you watch the OADs, don't watch the first one. It's literally a fever dream, and they literally call it a it is a actual the events of it are actually a dream, like a weird thing that happens with Rimuru, and it is not worth watching. It is actively bad and makes the show worse. Uh, yeah, it's just fucking terrible. So don't watch that. Okay, I gotta get this. I'm trying to line these up right here. So this goes in like this. This goes in. But yeah, it's if you like the show, this is more of the show, and it is focusing on some cute, fun characters doing their thing, uh, and yeah, it's pretty strong. Okay, we got that together, great. All right, so we did that, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. And that's it for anime. Like I said, we are in this period now, unprecedented times, as they say, where some stuff is coming back, but it is starting at square one. Like Food Wars, the new season of Food Wars is re-airing in Japan from the beginning. Um, there were only a few episodes in of extra Olympia Clyclos, so they didn't bother to restart that because they had only done a couple episodes anyway. But yeah. We are now at the point of the stream where if you have something you want to chat about, now is a great time to do that because I am living in isolation right now and not really doing a whole lot. I could probably talk about a couple of YouTube channels I'm watching. I guess I could do that. But if there's anything y'all want to chat about, you want to ask me about, you want to know about, it's on your mind, now's a great time to jump in with that. I apologize for not fully living and having conversations and starters. The webnet asks, any tips for pitching a panel to PAX and getting accepted? Bonus, any tips for moderating a good and not bad panel? Sort of random. The web, not random at all. I have experience. So, my story of getting approved for PAX panels is a unique one, and it cannot be fully replicated my way. What happened with me is I had connections with people that PAX folks already liked. So not everybody gets that. Not everybody gets to ask people they like and want to see to be on their panel. Now, I wasn't lying. They were truthfully wanting to do it and available and agreed to do it. So I got approved without them really knowing me. The panel page will have, and actually looked at, when it comes to PAX panel submissions, they include panel submissions that they liked. Panels they approved that like make sense, that describe what the panel is. List all the people. Like, because it's PAX Online, this one is PAX Online, you should already know who's going to be doing it when you submit it. Whereas at PAX, I got away with being able to say, it's going to be a couple people and we'll see who else is going to be there and I'll fill it out. Now, because it's online, because some of them are going to be live, but most of them are probably going to be recorded ahead of time. They just want to know who's going to be doing it. So you want to have, the list of things. If you can book somebody that has been on panels before, that they know and recognize, that is certainly beneficial. But you want to explain what's going on. Use the lines, the show blurb, the extra information. Actually put extra information in there. Say like, hey, I'm such and such. I'm doing this thing. Here are the things. Here are conventions I've done before. I've been part of this and this. You don't know me, but this thing and this thing, and here's who I asked to be on the panel, and and why I wanted to do this panel in the first place, and like use your words, pitch yourself. It is a pitch. Um, PAX is fine with doing panels you have done other places. Some conventions don't like that. Some conventions want unique things that are just for them. I think PAX is fine with like, hey, if you've proven that this has worked and that audience were interested in it, and hey, well, 100 people came to see it in a place that where people don't really go to panels, or it's one of the, whatever, or like that kind of thing. Like if you've got that, say it, use it, take advantage of that. If you don't have that, that's fine, and it's not going to be like a deal breaker if you haven't like done it a bunch of places, and have a bunch of tape. Also, if you have tape, if you've done this panel before, and you can send them a link, like send them the link to be like, hey, if you want reference, here is we did it 2 years ago. I did a version of this panel at such and such, and here it is. Here's my here's the recording of it. Just so you know, I've learned a lot since I did this, and now we do this instead of that, and like give them the information there. But yeah, I hope that helps. Great time for a random one. How do I feel about Evangelion? So Def Beats, I think that Evangelion is incredibly ambitious and incredibly interesting. Uh, Great. I'm happy the webnet. I don't I don't care to ever watch it again, and I'm not interested in Rebirth and any. I haven't watched any of the Rebirths, but I watched, you know, 25 and 26. I watched the end of Evangelion. I watched the original series. I've watched it all. Um, I did not go back and watch any of the new dub, uh, uh, but I think that Evangelion was important for its time, but I do think that it is weird, uh, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't need to return to it. Is I guess what I'll say of Evangelion. I think it's important. I think the opening theme fucking rips. I think Cruel Angel's Thesis is awesome and fucking so iconic and so great. I'm a big fan of Cruel Angel's Thesis. Uh, that might be the thing I like most about Evangelion. Um, it's Cruel Angel's Thesis because it does just fucking kick so much ass. Uh, Lord Crashington is letting us know that Netflix just got Supermarket Sweeps episodes. That rules. I don't currently have Netflix right now, but that. Well, I know, no, I do have it. That's right, because I had to watch Doro. I do have it for a month. I'm only keeping it for a month. Well, I guess I'm going to watch some of Supermarket Sweeps on in the background while I do other things. The OP might be better than the show. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the mechanical design is top notch. That's Last Brook. I would agree. I think that while plug suits are not my favorite, and there's a lot to dislike about the show. Also, there's a penguin. There's a penguin. There's just a penguin that's just hanging out. He's just hanging out. Like, yeah, cool penguin. All right, I'm into that. You know, uh, it is a strange, weird series. I have seen Carol and Tuesday. Yes, Carol and Tuesday is awesome. Um, Carol and Tuesday is like just like really just sweet, and I think the music, I think that's fair. I appreciate that. I think the music is just, I mean, the music had to be incredible, right? And I think the music is incredible. Um, uh, yeah. Uh, just like, yeah, Carol Tuesday is just a great show. I hadn't watched it when it came out, but I caught up on it. because I go through periods where I don't have Netflix. I usually like appointment viewing. Like I got Netflix for Dorohedoro because I was like waiting for it, and I'd seen clips of it, but it was in Netflix jail, so I had to wait on it. Um, all right, I guess I'm gonna just go to YouTube and see if there's any. So I've been watching a lot of like van conversions, not like so much like van life stuff, not necessarily van life stuff, but like tiny house conversion stuff. I've been watching a lot of that lately. Also, there's this dude, uh, Steve Wallace. He is a camper in Victoria, British Columbia, and he does a lot of like I shouldn't be camping here, camping in this temperature in summer gear. I'm camping out of. I rented a car and we're camping out of the back of it. Uh, yeah, Steve's totally like I don't know. I just never watched him before, and like he's not like new, but he's new to me. Um, I think like yes, yeah, stealth park camping in airport parking lot in winter. Yeah, he's just like does like stuff like that, and it's just like his like uh yeah, Lord Crashington. I don't keep up with Batwoman or any CW show, but I know that she didn't want to be in the show anymore, and things were bad, and things were real bad, and then she's out, and they got somebody new to be in the show, and it will probably make some people very mad, and other people are already mad. Uh, No, well, Lashbrook, it's not so much that they replaced her being the bold choice. It's who they replaced her with being a bold choice. It's not like it wasn't that. Lord Crashington didn't mean it necessarily that way. It wasn't like the fact that they replaced her being a bold choice. It is the direction they're going with it. But also, it's less of a bold choice when you recognize that more than one African American actor has said that they really dislike working on CW shows. So uh, when you take that into consideration, it's like, well, I guess they're trying to refresh their image on that one. But there's at least one black woman has said like, "Hey, this sucked." So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Also, a lot of the stuff that sucked is just uh, the shitty people in the world, but also the work environment. So we don't. I don't know. Uh, okay, so we're gonna put this on here. So this goes this. Hmm. Sorry. Sometimes y'all, I like I see what they want me to do, and then I'm like, this isn't doing it, and it just takes me a minute or two. Yes, the comments are definitely expected, Lord Crashington, but they certainly knew what they were gonna get into with it. But we'll see. I don't know. Like I said, I don't really watch those shows. I watched a little of Arrow when it first started, and I watched a little of The Flash. But I'm not super into those shows, so I haven't watched a lot of them. Ah, I got what I'm doing wrong. Now I know what I'm doing wrong. I literally was have this faced the wrong way. So that will explain why this was wrong. Okay, and then this goes this booster here. Sorry, sometimes I get quiet towards the end of the stream, so I appreciate that. Legends, The Flash is the one I watch. Uh, Legends of Tomorrow got real good. Mudon asks, is there a show you watched all the way through, even though you really didn't like it all that much? So I try not to do that, even though I talk about like anime on stream. If I really dislike it, I will drop it, even towards the end of a show. Or like, I'll do what I did with. I still haven't watched all of Ascendance of a Bookworm season 2 because turns out I don't really like watching that show as it airs. Because it's just like it's just not a show that holds my interest, but it's a show that I like, so I'll go and watch it. I still haven't done that. Um, but usually, if I don't like a show, I will bounce off of it, even if I've committed a lot of time. Like, and sometimes I'll go back to it. Turns out, like, oh hey, like I watched a lot of Darling in the Franxx. Like a lot of that show. I've never finished it because I just was at a certain point I was just like, "You know what? I hate this." And I keep saying to myself, "Well, it's going somewhere and it really seems like it's going somewhere and they're really like they're trying something different." And eventually I was just like, "You know what though? I don't like it and I don't want to watch it anymore." Uh Yeah, I don't understand watching it. So sometimes Aristophan, hi Aristophan, you just like you decide you're gonna see it through, even if it's frustrating you. Like you're like, I want to finish this. I want to be done with it. Okay, I'll say this. So the show that I did that for, this is actually an example of a show that I did that for was uh, okay, great. I thought we lost everybody there, but we did not. Uh, Infinite Dendogram. There was just not enough anime out at the beginning of this year, so I kept watching Infinite Dendogram, even though I didn't really like Infinite Dendogram. And then they had a delay, so it took even longer to finish it. And then I thought it was done, but as I was watching it, I realized that there were 13 episodes, not 12. So the delay between episodes 11 and 12, there was still another week. And I would say I begrudgingly, the fact that I did not enjoy that show, I wanted to see it through. But for most part, I just kind of like didn't. It was fine. It just wasn't great. And I wanted to have stuff to talk about. So I did keep watching that show beyond. But that is atypical for me. That's me with Heroes after season 1. The writer's strike and showrunner turnover made the rest so sad. Yeah, it's sad. Uh, is 83 Stardust Memory worth finishing? Halfway through, I'm pretty bored. Hate most of the characters. Yeah, I think that I would agree with Mudon that the character stuff isn't particularly like. Yeah, there's not a lot of characters to write home about, but I do think the story is pretty cool, and I do think that it is worth finishing. But also, maybe don't. You know, life is short. We do have a lot of time, but rewatch a fave, rewatch something that you like, rewatch an old standard, an old classic. I've been going back to my faves when I need them, and that has been very helpful. All right, we still got more leg work to do. We're gonna keep working on our legs. Of course, we are gonna go and raid somebody at some point. I don't know when we'll do the raid, but at the very end of the stream, I mean, we'll go and give somebody cool a raid. But yeah, I'll finish it and understand why the protagonist is the way he is. I understand. Chai Squared, hi Chai Squared, says, I just finished 83 today. There you go. No spoilers. Uh, 11 and 12, great. Any shows you like not because they're good, but because they fucking go off the deep end and you have to preach them. Oh, yeah, I mean, there's probably examples of that, right? Um, Gurren Lagann. I don't think Gurren Lagann, the second half of Gurren Lagann is better. I don't think it's as good as the first half. Uh, but it fucking goes for it, and I do appreciate that. Even if I think that it just because it keeps saying yes and it keeps going if then that what else. It keeps being like, how can we push this and where can we go with it? And I do very much appreciate that, even if I think that it doesn't fully stick the landing. Don't mess with your unlock it. Christian, that's all I'm saying, is that like I think that the smaller story, the earlier story within it, is more interesting to me. But I really respect how gung-ho the show is and how it goes for broke. I have a lot of love for that. So that's not a full example. I just think that it goes in a place that I wouldn't have necessarily loved, but I do think it's cool. Because it is beautiful and cool show. It just maybe goes in a direction I didn't necessarily love. I'm trying to think of a show that I was like respect its nonsense. The Final Battle is so bad. The Final Battle is great, but it is that thing where you're like, this show started with people living underground. It just built. Uh, um, is that show called Another? Yeah, Another, the anime Another. I watched it for Halloween, this past Halloween, uh, and I can't say that I really liked it, but I do like what it was doing. I do like the story it was telling. It is it is definitely a horror anime, um, and I'm not a horror guy, so for me to say that I appreciate it, like I think that says a lot. The fact that I could find something to really enjoy about a show that is in a genre that is not my genre at all. Um, it is just not my style. But it worked so hard to tell the story it wanted to tell, um, and was just so cool. Yeah, and the escalation I think is great, and even the thing is in that series the escalation I think is handled really well, and like there are things that I'm like, well, no duh anime, and then there are other things that happen in the anime that I'm like, wait, what the fuck? What do you mean? Wait, what? And it's like brilliant. Um, but yeah, that show has highs and lows, and the lows are just quiet moments where you're like, ah, fuck, and the highs are like, ah, fuck. But yeah, I think that is a cool show that I probably wouldn't have watched all of if it not been for the idea that I was doing it for Pat Bear's Anime Club. Uh, the Under the Dome adaptation that CBS made starts off fairly grounded and ends with some ridiculous Lost style nonsense that I had to see to the end. Yeah, yeah, sometimes you just gotta do it. Like I said, that Infinite Dendogram was like, and it was really funny because on Wednesdays you got Boofery, which was this like light, cute, fun, overpowered main character inside a video game. It's all about friendship and the competition and like we're gonna do it and we're just and doing your own thing and playing how you like to play and supporting each other and making new friends, and even the villains weren't villains, they were just people competing, uh, and then the next day was just like people that the the characters in this game you have to treat like real, and the chosen one is here, and I'm doing evil things because of my real life, and I'm the child of Sherlock Holmes, and you're like, all right, get out of here, anime. You're drunk. This is a chore. Ugh, Infinite Dendogram. It's like a really fun premise that I just did not enjoy that much. But still, like I said, slow season. You know, it was the only show to watch that came out on Thursdays, and I had one on a Tuesday and a Wednesday and a Thursday, and damn it, I was going to talk about a couple anime. All right. So we are almost ready to assemble our legs, and then we're gonna do most of our body here. We won't finish up fully, but we will assemble stuff here because we'll work on the side skirt pieces on Saturday, which will be our next build stream. I like that Shane Helms talks about 3 count more over the past few weeks than anybody has past 20 years on Twitter. Okay, yeah, I don't follow Shane, but yeah, man, 3 count. They were a cool trio. They had a good. They had legitimately a good gimmick on WCW, like a modern gimmick. Like it was smart. Outside of the Tank Abbott stuff, which was weird in a way that wasn't fun. But yeah, they were just like a boy band wrestlers, but they were like 2 of the 3 of them were very good wrestlers, and one of them was an okay wrestler. It's like, okay, sure. Shoot your shot, kids. Get some heat. And there was one other trio in WCW at the time, so it worked out great. And then the other trio there were Asian Americans, and they weren't the villains. They were the heroes because everyone hated 3 count. It was really nice. It was accidentally progressive. Um, I None of them could sing or dance well, but they had the sound. Yeah. Uh, I did see Orange Cassidy Jericho. I thought it was pretty great. I love Orange Cassidy so much. I love that Chris Jericho loves Orange Cassidy and wanted to work with him because you can just sense that Chris Jericho knows where the money is, but he also knows what he likes and what he wants to work with, and he's in a position where he can just make demands. It's very clear that he's just like, that's a guy I want to work with. So we are body complete. We got to outside of that, we got to work on that. We're going to work on the backpack, but we're pretty set here. We are going to go ahead and give we're going to go raid somebody. My next stream, as I prep for this raid, because decide who it is. My next stream is going to be on Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So please feel free to come back for that. And that will be cool. 9 p.m. Eastern this Saturday. We are going to work on the backpack. We're going to work on the side skirts things here. There's a lot for the backpack and the weapons. And I think we'll probably finish up on Saturday. So I will have a poll out tomorrow for my $10 patrons. And I think, you know what? I don't know how long I don't know how late he started. So let's actually go and raid Ian. We're going to go raid loading ready run. Because I don't know how late he'll be going, but usually it's a 3-hour stream. But we're just going to go and check out Ian because I think that's cool. And see what he's working on. So you feel free to come and join the raid if you like. If you don't want to, don't worry about it. Thanks so much for watching the stream. I hope you had a great evening. And I'll see you on the next build with Baer. Let's go raid. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.